TV, bringing Brookline home.
Thanks. Thanks. Tonight's Stacey's first show. I hope she does okay. Yeah. Me too. I think she'll be fine. Yeah. Couple deep breaths. Hi. I'm Stacey. Nice to meet you. I'd like to thank my lovely multicultural hand puppets for that lovely introduction. We don't need these anymore. I am happy to be here. I'm a performer, improv comedy performer, and artist in Boston. Grew up in the North Shore. And I'm here hopefully to entertain you, make you laugh, make you giggle, make you think. There are a few funny things that have happened to me, and I found a lot of my more interesting experiences in my life when I look back have happened in a car. And get your minds out of the gutter. I don't mean, interesting things in a car. This is a PG rated show here. I mean just funny things that have happened in my car. So I'm going to start off with a little ditty. I like that word ditty. About me and my mom and going to school. Now, at this point, I was probably about 13 years old, and my mom and I, my family, lived in East Boston, nice Italian neighborhood, as if you couldn't tell. And I missed the bus, so Mom had to drive me to school. So she packs me into the car, and her outfit, her going to take Stacey to school outfit, consisted of the giant pink 70s rollers in the hair, a big puffy pink bathrobe over her footy pajamas, and big puffy pink slippers. Now, needless to say, she looks ridiculous, but being the lady that she was and still is, she had to apply just a little lip gloss just in case anyone sees her. It's not like they're going to notice, her giant rollers with her lovely kerchief around them. Anyway, she packs me into the car in her ensemble and decides to just, take me to school. So she's driving through the lovely city of East Boston that I mentioned. And unbeknownst to us, there was a film being taped on location in East Boston. Who would have thunk it, right? So there are police barriers and barracks and directors and lights and cameras. And Sue, my mom, was stopped by a police officer. She stops politely, and the car starts to go. So Sue's trying to start the car back up. Nothing. So, police officer comes over and taps on the window. Lady, you're really going to have to move this car. And my mother, of course, she's like, yes, officer, I'm trying my best. Nothing. We're taping a film here. You're really going to have to move that car. So Mom, Sue, nothing. So they got to call in the big guns. The director comes over. Sorry, ma'am, you're really going to have to move this car. Now, of course, by this point, we know the car needs to be moved. Pardon me. Important to hydrate. So Sue cordially once again. At this point, she's becoming a little frantic. I'm just watching the whole thing. And she's becoming a little frantic. Her face is turning red, completely embarrassed. And she's saying, I'm really trying. The officer's starting to get a little pushy with her. You know, lady, we're filming here. You need to move the car. So Sue, trying to maintain her composure, starts the car again, tries to start the car again. It won't start. There are about 8 people now at her window, yelling at her to move the car. Finally, Sue has had it up to here. She gets out, pink slippers, pink bathrobe, pink ridiculous rollers in her hair, her blue kerchief, and her lip gloss, and says, "What do you want from me? I can't carry the car on my back." And at this point, of course, I'm cracking up. Finally, we call the tow trucks. They come in. They move the car. The rest is a blur. But I can't help but remember my mom in her ensemble taking me to school with the rollers in her hair, yelling at the producers of the movie. And that pretty much shut them up. So when you have a lady in a bathrobe and slippers, don't mess with her, especially if she's Sue. A couple other funny things have happened in my car. Yes, I've got my cheat notebook here. Deal with it. As a kid, sometimes I would drive with my grandfather. And he drove till he was about 126, God rest his soul. And every time someone would either pass him or cut him off, Johnny always had to just steal a glance. It didn't matter if he was going to create a 17-car pileup. Johnny had to steal a glance. So if someone cut him off, he would look scathingly at them, you know, and as he's passing them. He wouldn't look at the road in front of him, just the scathing. You know, he would get a little demonic. That was always scary. So I was like, Papa, don't, look in front of you. It didn't matter. Johnny needed to give the scathing glance, and he just had to see who the jerk was who cut him off. He had to get that glance, you know. He wouldn't have been satisfied without it. So that was kind of fun, too. And getting a little bit older, when I finally got my own license and decided that I could drive myself around, which was freeing and kind of nice. I remember one of the first accidents I've ever gotten into. Once again, 16 years old, nice Italian community in Eastie, where I grew up, all right? It was Eastie. What, you got a problem with that? Yeah, lots of that. So I grew up in Eastie, and I'm on the road, finally, 16, freedom, thank you. And I'm in this little tiny Toyota that we like to refer to, my friends and I refer to as the Duck, because the horn was broken. And my dad, his name also is Johnny, and was Johnny. Johnny Pop, we like to call him. Johnny Pop installed a very duck-like horn, because the horn was busted in my car. There were no air conditioners. There was none of that. You rolled down the windows. You were grateful you had a car. You drove. So my friends got used to me coming to get them, and they'd hear, It was really rather amusing. I would have liked more of a, maybe different animal sounds if we could program them in, but we couldn't, so I dealt with the Duck. So I was driving the Duck along, which was just this beat up old Toyota. And I'm driving through East Boston, doing my thing on the way to get some friend of mine. And I'm in traffic, and I just